All right, call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Brian Card,
Here.
Norman Ferrin.
He's online, I've been
Can
told.
he hear us? Michael Huco,
Here.
John Sarantopoulos.
Here.
And Keith Thurlow.
Yeah. Okay, there's no alternates to seat. We got a full board. Addendums, any addendums, Jonathan?
No addendums.
All right, citizens' comments on items not subject to the public hearing. Individual presentations not to exceed 3 minutes, limited to an aggregate of 21 minutes unless otherwise indicated by a majority vote of the commission. Public comments can be emailed to publiccomment@killenlyct.gov or mailed to the town of Killenly, 172 Main Street, Killenly, Connecticut, 06239. All public comments must be received prior to 2 p.m. the day of the meeting. Public comment received will be posted on the town's website, www.killenlyct.gov. All this is as this is a hybrid meeting, citizens can participate in the citizens' participation by WebEx or in person. The townofkillenly.my.webex.com/town of Killenly .my/ Okay, I think everybody can read that. It's on the end. It goes into too many details.
There is a clickable link. So if you're looking at the agenda on the town website, you can just click on the link. and
Meeting
you'll
number
join.
2864-284-6301, password BZC July 2026, by phone 1-415-655-0001. Anybody want to speak on items not subject to the public hearing? 90 Putnam Pike is on the public hearing, so that we can't speak about that one at this time. No, you speak at that when the public hearing, when we
Okay.
open that public hearing.
Michelle Murphy, 325 Breakneck Hill Road. I wanted to address data centers. The last time that I was on the council, I looked and I remember them being standalone in Business Park. I found it in the notes. I thought it was standalone in industrial. And the language has been changed. The definition has been changed to include it in every zone. So I don't necessarily want to take out an application and go through that whole process again, but do people realize that data centers are in every zone now per special permit, including rural? So, I wanted to just make the suggestion that maybe you want to look at those regulations again and maybe you want to leave them the way they are, but data centers are allowed in every zone at this point. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Diana Weber, 238 Mashantuck Road, and I just wanted to, someone had resubmitted Ann Dufresne's letter in the comments today, and I just want us to kind of keep that in the forefront of our minds because it was good, and it was calling out these changes that occurred and this application, the Husky thing and everything, and just how, as residents, we're not kept apprised of all that. And what it's done is it's gotten rid of the good faith of the residents for the people that are supposedly, working for the town. I know you guys volunteer and I appreciate everything that you do, but we do have 2 attorneys that we actually pay for. So I personally, and following this for many months, I don't feel like Attorney Slater ever pushes back. And if he's representing us, I think us should be the residents. And we've kind of made it pretty clear how we feel about things, but there's just no pushback from him. And, I would just be curious to know, who all lives. I know that Rainey, an alternate on the wetlands, actually lives kind of in the fallout zone, but otherwise, is this affecting anybody here, that's making decisions for our future? And Sorry, I'm blind. I'm almost done. And when I was at the walkthrough, I had asked town staff if they were providing their own water and electric, and it was kind of laughed off, like, of course not, you know? So here we go, you know, I mean, I got a 600 square foot house and I'm paying $400 a month in the, you know, for electric and stuff, you know, it's crazy, and it's just gonna go up and up. So I guess my big thing is, our attorneys, you know, Martha Kalina, which is now, Harris Beach Martha or whatever, the environmental attorney that I guess we can consult with, or she's here or something. It's come up a few times. She's been asked, we've been asked, and, you know, there's been no comeback for anything, for Old Killenly Pond, for the Husky Project, for anything. If she's our environmental lawyer, or if, like, she's not, don't we have one?
So we're represented by Halloran Sage, the town of Killingly. We usually use attorney Ann Katina.
Oh, that's it. I'm sorry. Yep.
Environmental.
Okay, so.
Martha Kleina was a former
Okay, so.
town attorney.
Well, I'm just a layman, like, trying to find out, like, why, because I know that the request for an environmental lawyer has been put out there a number of times, but it never comes back, so. And definitely, with the moratorium and everything in place, get rid of the data centers, period, full stop. I mean, that's madness, and to include them in all areas is beyond, you know, crazy. So any dirty deeds that were done before, undo them now, please. I'm begging yous.
Hello, Barbara Ahern, 127 Killingly Drive, Danielson. I've been doing a deep dive into AI. My big issue, besides all the pollution with the Husky Project, is the transportation issue. And I would like to request of each and every one of you, if you haven't ever been on Gauthier Drive or Knox Ave, to do that before you make any decisions. I just witnessed another terrible car crash. I don't know if the person survived at the intersection of Killingly and Gauthier, which happens all the time. They push the guardrail of this small car back about 6 feet. I've also done some research on the internet about what Amazon says their truck numbers are going to be and what they actually are. And they say 300 to 500 trucks per day, which can go up 50% in peak times or holiday times, but generally they average about 1,000 trucks per day. And I also researched the air quality of people's homes that live within feet or 500 feet of these facilities, and how harmful it is. The soot that gets in your house, the air quality for your lungs, especially with children, people with asthma and other diseases, heart diseases, like myself. I live about 100 feet away from Gauthier Ave, and I can't imagine a truck like almost every 6 minutes, or more frequently. I just think it's a horrible way to live. I have a friend on Hawkins Street who lived next to one of these Amazon facilities, and as soon as she found out that Project Husky was coming in, she sold her beautiful house and moved immediately because she knows the effects of what this will do when they come in. And I don't know if you realize, council people, that all of the traffic, every single tractor trailer that enters or exits this facility will go down Gauthier and go down Knox. That's it, not Westcott, not through town, which is a good thing, but will go down Gauthier or Knox. That's it. Whether it's 300 trucks per day or 1,200 or 2,000. Those people, including myself, who live very close on those roads, have already got to deal with the traffic that is already coming off 395. And can you imagine the construction vehicles that are going to go for 2 years up and down those roads and the traffic? And I can guarantee you that if any one of you had a house on Gauthier or had a house on Knox or lived on one of the 5 streets that run off Gauthier or the 2 streets that run off of Knox, you would do a little bit more research into this planning and zoning issue and also the impact of those people who live there. And I hope you do the right thing since this is a new application. Thank you.
Rebecca Rainville, 120 Leho Road. Hi, everybody. Thank you. I didn't write anything down, but I agree with what this previous lady had just said. The trucks that would be exiting onto Westcott Road would either take a left onto Knox Ave, which if they went down Knox Ave, there are homes right there on the street. They're maybe, 25 feet off of that road. And as they continue down Knox, the tractor trailers would have to take a right under the highway and then take a left and merge onto Gauthier Ave and then onto 395. So as you're entering 395 with massive tractor trailer trucks, 53 feet long, there are people heading south trying to get off exit 37B to head 6 west. And so as they're trying to get off, the trucks are trying to merge on. And as they're merging on to 395, the cars heading south are trying to get off exit 37A to head Route 6 east. I mean, the area where they want to put this Amazon is actually our downtown. It's part of the downtown. It's a rural area. And we have business parks for companies of this size. And actually, when the zoning laws were made, they were not made for mega warehouses at all. And I think that we're against this. That the town should be against this. It's not gonna, we don't need their jobs. We have enough jobs in this area. If we want to bring businesses, it should be family-owned businesses, not massive mega warehouses in a downtown area. It's not like they're in a business park. And just the noise pollution for the people. And there's a nursing home. Davis Nursing Home is right in front of Gauthier Ave. So it's a rehab in a nursing home. And a lot of my cancer patients rehab there. And how can people heal or live? I mean, I live 4 miles away and I haven't slept in 5 months. I am sick about this whole thing. So once Amazon tries to get in there, the next thing you know, they're going to want to put data centers in there. We will not be the quiet corner any longer. We'll just be like Bridgeport and New Haven, and it's just going to be a nightmare. Our town is not made for massive 1.5 or 1.3 million square feet of concrete monstrosity. I mean, Amazon just laid off 67,000 people in the last 4 months. So who's to say they build this and then they don't need it and it's just going to be stuck there? If there was a fire, I remember the fire chief at the last meeting was saying that the town below wouldn't have any water if they were pumping the water to put out a fire, and they would have to bring pump trucks up. It just doesn't make any sense for our town, for our children, for our elderly. Our whole surrounding town is full of 55-year-old communities. My mom lives right in back of where they want to put this Amazon, and there's 5 other 55 and older communities that surround the whole thing. The schools are below. It just doesn't make any sense. And the people of the town should have a right and a vote to say. We should have a right. We should have a right to be able to speak for our future, for our kids' future. It's just a nightmare. It doesn't belong here. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay. Public hearings. Public hearing comments can be emailed to publiccomment@killenlyct.gov or mailed to the Town of Killenly, 172 Main Street, 06239. All public comments must be received prior to 2 p.m. the day of the meeting. Public comment received will be posted on the town's website, killenlyct.gov. Special permit application 261368, applicant landowner 90 Putnam Pike, Killenly 1 LLC, 90 Putnam Pike, GIS map 89, lot 22, 54 acres, general commercial project proposes 2 new distribution centers totaling 467,500 square feet, plus or minus, with associated loading bays, trailer parking, employee parking, access drives, stormwater management, retaining wall, septic systems, utilities, landscaping, and lighting, continued from June 15th, 2026. Please introduce yourselves for the record.
Evening, Mr. Chairman. My name is John Nuff. I'm an attorney at 42 Cherry Street in Milford, Connecticut, and I'm here tonight on behalf of the applicant. This is Derek Redgate from Sully Engineering. So, since last time, we have provided the funds for the third-party reviewer, Ty and Bond. We have received their comment letter. We have received the Ty and Bond comment letter on Friday, went through it as carefully as we could, maybe from further away, maybe? And then we also had a call with Andrew White and his team this morning, sort of a very high-level review. We have another more careful review scheduled for this Thursday. And while the comment letter is 12 pages, we're very confident that there's no comment in here that we cannot respond to in a positive manner, and we'll do so as expeditiously as possible. A couple of things I just want to go over. I know that Andrew is here this evening. He's going to be giving a presentation, and Derek is going to be responding as well on a sort of a high level to the comment letter. On the traffic, we are proposing a land use code 150, which is a warehouse. Understanding that there are other ITE traffic codes that might be applicable that generate higher levels of traffic, we will accept a condition that we will be a warehouse. And if we are something other than a warehouse as defined in that ITE use, then we will come back to you for an approval with greater traffic. Any noise issues, we will comply with your noise ordinance as anyone must. And then in terms of hazardous substances, again, you have certain regulations, your zoning regulations that preclude hazardous substances. We will have none of those. As I think we said to you very early on, as we told the Wetland Commission, who is the Aquifer Protection Commission, that if there is a use in the building that is located closer to Putnam Pike, that entity, or we will go back to the Wetland Commission in their role as the Aquifer Protection Committee, so that if there's any use or any product or anything that is triggered under the Aquifer Protection Regulations, we will obviously have to do that as well. So I know Derek wants to give you a quick overview as well, and then we'll hear from Andrew.
Yep. So I'll just. Derek Redgate with Sully Engineering. I'm the project manager on this for Sully. We, as John said, we received the comments on Friday, and so today we had the opportunity to go through them with our separate departments within our company that are doing pretty much all the tasks here. Our traffic engineer, our landscape architect took a look at the comments. our civil site engineers, and then our stormwater management experts, drainage experts also had a chance to review the comments. So we're in the early stages of looking through them and coming up with our plan. But our plan is to be able to go through almost all of them and give a written response to each comment by Ty and Bond. And I expect that the comments will also be incorporated into sort of the three main documents that we have submitted to you. So there'll be a supplemental submission that'll have revised site plans based on the comments, revised traffic report based on the comments, and a revised drainage report. So they'll look the same. They'll be the same size and everything, but they'll have all the comments incorporated into them, as well as response to comment letter, which will address each comment from Ty and Bond.
When do you anticipate us receiving that?
So, trying to figure out, look at how much work there is. We sort of decided that today, since we got the comments on Friday, but I expect within 2 weeks, I think we'll be able to supply the written comments and then follow up very quickly with the revised documents.
So we'll be receiving the comments, the answers to the comments within 2 weeks? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so I think if Ty and Bond is on board, we'll coordinate amongst ourselves on some of the questions to expedite it. But yes, within 2 weeks, I expect by the end of next week, we would be able to submit written responses to the comment letter. And then follow up with that, perhaps another week, where we would provide the site plans, the traffic report, and the drainage report, supplemented and revised based on those comments.
So, the real issue, as you probably know, is that we've got one more meeting, and then that's it. We have to act at the next meeting. So that makes it so that we have to read this, which is all right, ahead of time, but then any discussion or questions will have to be answered and addressed, and doesn't give us any time for any more back and forth at the next meeting.
Yeah, we'll take that into account, and I possibly expedite. Your meetings are approximately one a month, so we would really push to get them in so you had 2 weeks to look at the documents and look at the comment.
Okay. Is that all you're presenting then tonight?
That's all I have tonight.
Sir?
So what was handed out tonight for you guys that wasn't in the initial packet are the comments from citizens' comments that have been received to this application since the last meeting, as well as a copy of that July 17th Ty and Bond third-party report. The third-party report, having just got in on Friday, is going to be uploaded to the website for anyone that's interested to see it in the morning. But we do have representatives from Ty and Bond here, so if you wanted them to give a presentation or a brief discussion on their report, now would be an appropriate time.
Yeah.
Good evening. For the record, Andrew White, professional engineer with Ty and Bond, civil engineer, and with me tonight is Alan Cloutier, our registered transportation engineer. Our third-party review, which was submitted on Friday, really covered 4 main areas. We had our zoning review, site plan review, stormwater, and traffic. So for zoning, I'll just give a brief summary of our review, particularly what we think was a higher level of
Sorry to interrupt. I didn't get your name again. Is that Charles? Is that the one on the
No.
signature? or-
I'm Alan Cloutier,
Okay. And you're just traffic?
just a traffic guy.
Okay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
So I'll give a high-level overview of our comments, and then I'd be happy to jump into any deep dive on any particular comment. I don't know if you've had a chance to read them, but I'd be more than happy to go through, or if you want to go point by point, we could also do that. But starting with our zoning review, really we're looking for the applicant to provide some additional information in compliance with town requirements, including lighting, signage, parking lot landscaping, pedestrian circulation, building placement, protection from noise, dust, vibration, glare, and other similar impacts. There's one more that I'll kind of save to the end there. Stormwater management, we're looking through their information. There's a few items that we wanted them to look at, particularly their reduction in peak flows to meet the 2024 stormwater management stormwater quality manual from the state, as well as looking at their analysis points. One of their underground infiltration systems appeared to be in the restrictive layer, so we're looking for them to review and revise that. And then we had some additional comments based on some of their details and some of their calculations for pretreatment and water quality. Other than that, we also had some questions regarding the retainage walls and rock cuts, certainly with some of the exposed rock face, whether it was appropriate to have fall protection zones and design accounted for that, as well as steep slopes, culvert and bridge abutment types, water towers, tanks, utility crossings, and placement. One of the, I would say, larger issues too with the site is the amount of excavation and fill. Currently, they were proposing 509,000 cubic yards of excavation and I think a total export of 244,000 cubic yards. And so looking for clarification from the applicant on them meeting your Section 570 performance standards for earth excavation. And that, I think, is one of the larger comments to be addressed from the applicant team. And then Alan will provide a traffic overview.
Oh, I turned on too quick. We're good. So as far as some traffic comments, I guess they're numbered. Starting with number 27, I'll kind of give a brief rundown of them. As the attorney for the proponent mentioned, warehouses, they're not all the same, right? Most of them would fall under kind of one category, which is what they use for their traffic study, traditional warehouse. And the numbers to be generated, or the traffic to be generated by a regular warehouse, is different than there are a few types that generate more. And being that this is a spec, they don't have a specific tenant yet. There are a couple that, if they were, such as like a FedEx distribution facility, might still look like a warehouse, generates more traffic. Not to kind of use the bad word, but Amazon's another one, where since they have very, I guess, efficient operations, they generate more traffic per square foot than a traditional warehouse. So just wanted to, I guess maybe that might be something to address, if there's a decision, to make sure the wording is very clear on that as far as what is allowed. So I just wanted to kind of put that one out there. Their numbers are for a traditional warehouse. Now, further in the review of the traffic, at least for off-site, the intersection of Hartford Pike with Putnam Pike, that kind of came up in a few of our comments for a few reasons. One is it's kind of it's an odd angle. It's not at a 90-degree intersection. So first of all, I wanted them to verify that trucks can actually make that left turn from Hartford onto Putnam, and then vice versa the other direction because of the odd angle. That intersection also was had a pretty decent crash history. It averages about 7 crashes per year. So I think looking at some safety improvements at that intersection is kind of warranted as far as this project. And lastly, I mean, that's going to be the intersection that's the most impacted of any off-site, because that's where the majority of the traffic is coming from to go to the site. So the left turn as well from Hartford, that's really the only movement of all these intersections that really shows a difference due to the project. Not a huge difference, but there is a difference in that. So I think that one intersection, that kind of warrants some additional review or potential improvements, really. Other comments I had, sight distance, I think that there needs to be, I think there might be some more clearing that is needed at their driveway, just because, you know, there's quite a bit of an embankment there to kind of trim that back, just to make sure we have good sight lines for people leaving the site. And then for the most part, I think a lot of the comments had to do, the rest of the comments were on site. There was a number of locations. For instance, I think one of them might have already changed. Within the site, there's kind of a central intersection that I think they're going to try to tweak it a little bit. It doesn't come in at a 90 degrees, and if you have intersections that come in at Ys, things aren't as great, right? People don't always, it's not always so clear who should be stopping, who should not be stopping. And we don't want to it's a brand new intersection. We want it designed the way it should be rather than trying to catch up to any issues. A few other comments we had were a little bit more minor, as far as, like, for instance, that picture that you could see there, extending the center median. We could tighten that up a little bit. There's a few parking spaces that seems like somebody backing out might have issues. Those are kind of a little bit more minor, and some striping. But I think overall, from traffic, let's mostly look at that intersection, Hartford and Putnam. I think that's probably the biggest off-site concern. And then, again, we had a few on-site concerns.
Is it?
That's it for me.
Questions?
What is the grade coming out of that facility onto Route 12, that access road?
Probably better answered by the site engineer who did it, but I think it's around generally about a 7 to 8% slope. I think it levels out a little bit more, getting closer to
That's a
the
big
main
slope.
road. Yeah, so actually that was one of our comments. Snow clearing, there's maintenance is going to be very important for that, because that is a steep slope.
Federal highway, 6% is maximum.
Yeah, so they could probably give more exact to that than me. There might be some spots that were a little bit steeper. That was kind of my check, where I thought it was between 7 and 8%, and maybe not the whole way, but there was a section there approaching the intersection.
I just don't want to go back and forth. Stop. Have you been involved in any post-development analysis on using the traffic codes and how an actual construction operation would compare to some of these?
So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of projects, especially, and that's something that might be something to consider here. Sometimes, a lot of times, there is a requirement to do a post study, find out how much is actually generating, is it more or less? A lot of projects have been less, but not always. I think the key thing there is to also say, okay, but you could do a study, and this would be pretty easy. It's one driveway. Then what if, So sometimes I think the more successful areas, I've worked on a number of projects where, since there was going to be multiple phases, it was, okay, after phase 2, you're going to take a look at the numbers, and if they're higher, maybe there isn't a phase 3 or 4, or if they're higher, are you doing some kind of mitigation? I think the key thing is to think of what's going to be the requirement, or are you building another building? Kind of, what are you going to do with the numbers, essentially, to consider. So no, it's not uncommon to do something like that.
Is that something you guys could recommend?
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing that could be put into any conditions. To do that, again, I think it'd be good to think about what's going to be that second part after they do the study. Are we just going to do it for knowledge? Or are we going to do it for, that they then have to do some extra mitigation? Or, I think this is built as one phase, so it's not necessarily where there's a
Yeah,
second
well, you guys
phase.
are looking at the infrastructure and the traffic study. So you guys will be able to tell us, if there's any additional
Yeah.
reviews are needed there. But, and do these ITC codes take into account all aspects of the operation? Again, they're talking warehouse, but let's say they went to the next one, with included the distribution center. Does it take into account both the deliveries of the larger trucks and the smaller trucks? As
Yeah,
well as
'cause-
in and out on a daily basis, especially when they get to enhanced deliveries or short-term deliveries or something to that effect?
Yeah, so the way they do these studies are they have a site that's already built out, and they will literally just count it. So it's capturing employees, it's capturing, the trucks in or out, it's, capturing them getting the mail, it's already a site that is up and functional. And they collect this for all different land uses, apartment development, stuff like this. So it really captures the average, we get a whole bunch of data points, the average use for something like this. And it usually kind of captures what really happens.
And are there high and low end ranges on those analyses that they could do?
Well,
See a worst case scenario?
so normally we do average because especially when you were dealing with, traffic and capacity, usually that's something we're looking at an average day. Sometimes if you're looking at parking or something like that, then you might be more concerned about, well, what if it's a really high, where are people parking? Not thinking just of warehouses, but say, somewhere else. Are they parking on the adjacent lot or whatever? So sometimes that you'd look at the highest possible thing. But usually we look at, and they looked at the average for a building like this. But like I said, warehouse is one of those ones where it's kind of starting to split. There's a few different types of warehouses. They'll look very similar from the outside as each other, but how they're operating inside can vary a little bit.
Right, but one of the concerns that's been voiced here is obviously the proximity to the high school and the traffic generated by the high school. So one of the things that we'd like you guys to consider is look at what's an absolute worst case scenario given the high school start and stop times.
Okay.
Right, and, in addition to any traffic generated by this particular use.
Yeah.
Right, from a worst case perspective, right, and how would that impact that area?
Okay.
Versus the average.
Yeah.
Because again, I know they did traffic counts, I know they have some studies on there, but again, and some of those were taken during the morning, what they call the morning peak and the afternoon peak, but again, if you looked at it from a worst case, everybody left at the same time, from the high school, which all the kids will, right?
Yeah, of
And a lot of
course.
the teachers aren't far behind. What does that analysis look like?
Yeah, in fact, actually, I'm kind of thinking as we're going, that might be also something, because the high school usually have such a distinct peak. But then again, warehouses, they do have shift changes as well. That might be something to really make sure the shift change for the warehouse doesn't coincide with everybody leaving the high school. Something kind of to consider, I guess.
Okay, thank you.
Kind of piggybacking on the traffic reports, have you looked at the Central Regional COGS study? They just did one last year on warehousing.
No, I haven't, but I'll
Okay.
look it up now.
I saw that one being shared around. I think there might have been a mention of it in one comment at one point, but there's they studied exactly that. It was a traffic camera study looking at existing conditions of various types of distribution types.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is one of those ones where we don't necessarily know exactly who the tenant is going to be, but.
You've been doing this for how many years?
25 years?
Have you ever run into a situation where you're working and you find that you're prohibited from,
I think
You're good.
going off-site and gathering information that would impact that site, even though the site has been approved for a warehouse, where there's a presumption that it's called a conclusive presumption that a permitted use cannot be questioned by adverse effects outside of the site itself. You ever run into that?
I don't think so. I mean, that's definitely a little more of the zoning than I tend to do more traffic, although
Well,
I'm
since you're involved in traffic, traffic must be a big consideration with most sites.
Yeah.
So has anyone ever told you, look, the information you're gathering cannot be applied here because that site has been approved for warehouse work?
I mean, I think I've ran into a number of times where, depending on the zoning code, where certain boards are allowed to look at on-site and some are allowed to look off-site. And sometimes I've been in front of boards where they said, well, we can't talk about that here because we can only look at really what's happening, from the site boundary in. So, certain boards, when they said, well, because of this process, we can't deny it based off of what's happening at, off-site intersections, and sometimes there might be another board that has to give the approval within that town where that can be discussed. But sometimes, every town's different, but,
So there's no statewide formula for that. The courts, for an example, they don't take a look at this and say, look, because you've zoned this area for a particular use, it's something that you can't look at beyond the site itself because you've designated that site for this use.
I think a lot of times it really falls into very specifically the zoning bylaws and what the criteria is for that.
Yeah, not a statewide
Yeah,
conclusive
yeah.
issue. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
One question came to mind when you said they do a study on existing warehouses.
Yep.
How do they?
Well, not them. It's the
Or-
Institute of Transportation Engineers, which is a big organization. They really ask us traffic people
Yep.
to do studies and send them in. So they try to get a whole bunch of data and try to use that.
How do they classify trucks versus vehicles or cars?
So usually a heavy vehicle is anything that has 3 axles and up.
I'm just looking at the traffic report, there's 2, trucks and cars.
Yeah.
So how do they distinguish what's a truck and what's a car?
So usually it's dual axles or more.
Trucks.
Anything more than 2 axles is usually considered a heavy vehicle.
Okay.
But yeah,
And
sometimes
And
we'll,
everything else is a car?
yeah,
Okay.
pretty much.
So a
And,
delivery van's a car.
it's funny because then sometimes, you could have a dually and I'm like, well, I would consider that a car, but, box trucks, that could be a little bit bigger. It's, usually actually when they collect the data, they can collect quite a few different categories, sometimes,
Yeah, but we
to know
never
exactly,
see,
but-
the traffic report, at least the ones I've been looking at, don't show that.
Yeah.
Don't show the breakdown of what you're gonna get.
yeah, exactly.
You got 2.
Yeah, no, for warehouses, of course, they tend to be employees with their cars or big
Yeah.
trucks. There's usually not a whole lot of, a normal road, you'll have quite a bit more variation.
But not knowing what's going in there, they could have delivery trucks.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
that's not fall into a truck, which the most common person considers it a truck, not a car.
Yeah, there's a,
That's all I got.
Yeah, if I could. You got to be a little careful there, right? Because Amazon, their delivery vehicles are 2-axle.
yeah,
And a lot of car manufacturers classify their vans as trucks.
yeah.
So maybe it's essential that you have some guidelines so that everyone knows what you're talking about.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks.
Any other questions, Commissioner? At this time? Nothing outstanding else that you want to add?
Do you have any other?
Besides me turning my mic on? How much, do you guys have a number of how much is leaving the site? You got some coming in at 265,000, coming in as fill.
So from the material submitted, I believe they're table reported 509,000 cubic yards of total excavation. Of that, rock excavation was 343,000. Reuse was 265,000. And export was 244,000
So 244,000 going off-site.
going offsite. I believe from the applicant's materials, but they could correct me if I misspoke.
I need to speak to you for a minute before we, can I speak?
Do you want to do
Sidebar?
a
Need a
brief
5 minute-
recess, or?
Yeah, maybe somebody motion. for
Make a
recess.
motion to have a 5-minute recess.
A second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions? Okay. Any more questions for these gentlemen at all? Anybody?
I just had one, so you touched upon it with section 560, the earth filling regs. So, and this came up, I just want to make sure that, and we're going to reference all rules, but the guidance document for blasting activities that DEEP has, to make sure you guys look at it in relation to this as well, especially when it comes to the hydrogeologic conditions and any additional testing that may be recommended.
Certainly.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. You gotta fix these things.
No, don't say you need to respond to anything. So I mean, really just to reiterate what we said before, we look forward to responding to everything. We will do our absolute level best to get everything back to you as quickly as possible. If that means getting the traffic responses back before everything else, we'll do that. So we won't wait to submit everything all at once, and we'll give you the absolute greatest amount of time for you to take a look at everything.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, well, thank you. Public, anybody want to speak from the public for or against? Name and address, please.
Good evening. Is this on? Ian McDonald, 548 Valley Road. You know, this is being a spec warehouse, and I know we're coming up with some average figures on this, but I think, you know, anytime I'm trying to plan something, if I'm planning for, you know, even something of the average or better case scenario, that's when I get myself in trouble. So I think you have to be conservative with these numbers in terms of thinking more on the high side, quite frankly, because we don't know what's coming out of there. So we have to be prepared for that higher case scenario. I think that's a responsible thing to do. As to you know, Mr. Sarantopoulos mentioned this. You know, I don't know if it was 7-8% grade. That's quite a bit. That's quite a bit. And by the same token, we don't know what these things are going to be loaded up with. This is a main route for all of our buses. We got big trucks coming down, 7-8% grade, loaded up with who knows what. That's not necessarily a great recipe for public safety there. Similarly, well, and I'll just say 244,000 is 44,000 tons coming out of there. That's a lot of heavy trucks coming out of there. It just getting it going. You know, there's been a letter from the Board of Ed. I'll first, you know, I guess we don't know exactly what the traffic pattern is going to be until we actually see it in effect. It's been a letter from the Board of Ed expressing some concerns around this, although I know they didn't take an official position on this. This is really our sort of traffic nerve center for the town. I mean, we got the buses coming out of there. We've got all of our town vehicles coming out of there. NECOG, exactly, Northeast Transit. This is the nerve center for our, you know, Northeast Transit. I mean, this is and so to be adding a lot of traffic there, and as I think one of our bus drivers who's worked these roads for a long time referenced, you know, these are very narrow shoulders, and that kids do walk. Like, whether we think that's sensitive, like I'm nervous about would be nervous about having my kids walk there now, and you add those trucks on there, and that's very concerning. And if they're coming out onto through the main intersection there, I've already seen, you know, I've waited over by Walgreens, Dunkin' Donuts, and I've seen cars kind of backing up there. And it doesn't take that many trucks coming through there to really create a mess there. So, again, we don't know what's coming out of there, but there's been time, I don't know if others have had that experience, but people misjudge, and this thing starts backing up a bit, and that's a dangerous situation as well. and obviously going the other way, there's, then you're really going past all of this. And even if they do only go through that main intersection way, you could see some rerouting of bus traffic going the other way. And I think Soap Street is already pretty overloaded, and sometimes that intersection coming out onto 101 off Soap Street gets kind of backed up there as well. So this is not the place to be. If we're not, it's very troubling from a traffic perspective and just kind of public safety. So I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
This call is being recorded. Hello?
Hello? Somebody online?
Hi, yes. My name is Jasmine Birdie, 125 Lake Road in Dayville, Connecticut. I have a few concerns. There was an individual who was injured, if not killed, on Putnam Pike recently, unfortunately. And to the person who had previously just made a comment about the safety of walking there, there are high schoolers that do walk, and there are just regular people like you and I that, go walking or ride their bikes, because there's no massive traffic of tractor trailers coming in. Is this developer or is even Amazon going to pay to have sidewalks put in for safety reasons? I just think that because of the location, this is absolutely unacceptable for Amazon to be, or any mass warehouse at that location, because we have our children that their schools are right there. There's the high school, and then there's Soap Street, where the elementary school. And has this developer reached out to NECOG? How is this going to affect the animals? Because the mass loads of tractor trailers, not only throughout the night, that's going to stir up the animals that are there. How is that going to affect the neighbors and then the emotional well-being of those animals as well? And I live on Lake Road, and it's not supposed to be a through road for tractor trailers. Well, guess what? They do it anyway. So who's to say they're not going to come from 101 and cut through Lake Road to go through to get the Putnam Pike? Because tractor trailers are already doing it from Unify and all the other industrial buildings down there. It's a huge safety issue, and I think that this developer is trying to underplay the whole traffic study, which is ridiculous, and I'm really sick of hearing it. These people don't live here. This is where we live. This is our home, and we should have a say. And we have spoken out about this so many times, that we do not want this here, and that you guys need to take this elsewhere, because there has been developers, I'm not sure if it was this developer or a separate developer, so I'm not sure on that, but has gone through Willington and Ashford, Pomfret, and now this is hitting Killingly, and completely unacceptable for the location. And like I said, this is our town, this is our home. They don't live here. They're going to downplay things as much as they can because they just want the money. And Amazon has laid off quite a few people. And what's going to happen when it closes? What's going to happen with the homeowners who are completely impacted by this? What's going to happen when their wells, when their foundations, when everything starts to be ruined because of this? We all live here as our home, and our voices should be heard. And I appreciate everybody that has spoken out about everything, and I've already dove into the whole environmental concern, previous times, so I'm not going to get into that. But safety should be a top priority, especially with our kids. Thank you. This call is no longer being recorded.
Hi, I'm Alfred Alvarno. I live on Route 12 in Anawagan, right where they're planning on putting this. I'm totally disappointed. Last meeting I was here, they put on this big show, showed where the buildings were going to be on Westcott Road. I see nothing of what they're going to do on Route 12 in my backyard. How come? Did I miss something? I didn't see any pictures and drawings of where the driveways are gonna be, where the buildings are gonna be? Are we gonna
We
see
only have
anything?
what they offered up. That's the information we have.
It's not enough. It's not even close to enough.
So just to clarify, so with the application, there are full site plans, and other materials. The applicant chooses to present how the applicant chooses to present. So we have all the materials. If the commission wants to go through those, that's up to the commission, but they have received copies of those at a previous meeting. We have copies of all the application materials in our planning and development office, and anyone is welcome to look at those. Same as with our Documents on Demand website, where there's a link on the website where for all the documents, anyone can download and go through those.
My only question is, Saturday at the last meetings for the Westcott Road deal, and I'm just as much against that, even though it's not going to affect me terribly. But the Route 12, you showed nothing up here about Route 12, where the driveway was going to come out. Well, we don't count. They're talking about right across from the town garage, right? On that hillside. Is that where it's going?
Yeah, that's correct. It's across from the highway garage.
You can't get through that intersection now. So what's going to happen? Nothing, I suppose, right? I'm the only my disappointment, and I got to make the way I feel clear. The Westcott Road, they had pictures, drawings, streets, everything else. Tonight, this is on Route 12 in my backyard, and you've showed nothing. Or am I wrong? I didn't see nothing up here on where the buildings were going to go, where the driveway's going to come out. I don't count. The people that live on Route 12 don't count.
The presentations are made by the applicant. It's not up to us to make the presentations. So, well, I mean, we see as much as you do other than the documents that we get in our packets.
Well, do you think what they showed for Route 12 is adequate? For us, for the public, for the taxpayers, you think that's adequate?
There is one more meeting. That's all.
When is it?
The next month, not 1 month from now, August 17th.
Well, I suggested, if it's possible, and I'm not bad-mouthing anybody, I'm not throwing any stones, but I think we should insist upon showing exactly where those buildings are going to go. I live right near the high school. To me, it's ridiculous to even put a warehouse there. I said my piece. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Sam Mosier. I live at 6 Mountain View Landing. Oops, there. That better? Okay. Anyways, my name is Sam Mosier. I live at 6 Mountain View Landing, which is the old folks landing over there. And what I want to just say is that I do a lot of reading. One of the things I read about was the tremendous amount of carbon dioxide that's generated by plants, these big warehouses. NASA did quite a study about 2 years ago on these warehouses. They generate 20% more carbon dioxide than we normally have, particularly in the downwind sections of the area. So in the summertime, you get winds coming from the south. In the winter times, you got winds coming from the north. And guess what? The children that live there, the old folk that live there, the general population that live there, the rates of heart disease, a variety of children's different diseases, they get affected. And you guys haven't even mentioned that. This company here has not even mentioned that. The representatives don't talk about those things. If you pull up that NASA report, you will see what happens. Okay, that's what I'm concerned with. We have children, we have older people, we have old folks, and you guys aren't taking care of them.
Just wanted to speak on traffic. Michelle Murphy, 325 Breakneck Hill Road. I have the ITE classification for distribution centers. First off, distribution centers are categorized under industrial land use. I just thought I'd throw that out there. Distribution centers definition, facility that focuses on storing products, picking, packing, and shipping to fulfill customer orders. It's designed for efficiency and speed in the supply chain. Warehouse. A warehouse is primarily used for long-term storage of goods, inventory management. It does not usually handle order processing or fulfillment tasks. It's not a distribution. A warehouse is not the same thing as a distribution center. ITE classifications for distribution centers. General warehousing is 150. General warehouse, standard warehouses with lower traffic impacts. High cube fulfillment center is 155. Large warehouses designed for e-commerce fulfillment, typically with higher automation. High cube parcel hub warehouses, ITE code 156. Facilities that serve as distribution hubs for parcels, also with significant traffic impacts. And I throw that out there because they're using 150 as their traffic, and here that's the lowest one, like warehouses, ITE average rate, and the rate, to be honest, is like a mathematical calculation that I don't quite understand. It's 1.38 for 150. When you go up to high cube fulfillment centers, which is what the definition of a distribution center is, it's 1.77. When you go up to a sort high cube fulfillment center, it's 4.83 on average. That's their rate of trucks, the ITE rate of trucks. And the rate is some mathematical calculation based on population and nearby gas stations. It's not an hourly rate, but that's what all your traffic studies are based on. So you can see it just goes higher and higher and higher with what the real definition of a distribution center is. And I have that if anybody wants it. It's like in a big thick book, and thank you to Charles Vidic for giving me, because I wouldn't know that off the top of my head. The last thing I'm going to say for myself is a special permit. I still have questions with special permit of, can you just say no to a project for these reasons? Suitable location for uses, the size of the lot, the nature and intensity of activities involved in or conducted in connection with the use. The streets giving access to it are such that the use shall be in harmony with the appropriate and orderly development in the neighborhood in which it's located, and the impact on neighboring properties and residences or the development of the district. So that's from 700. You guys would know that for sure. That's from the regulations. At one point I asked Jonathan, can people just reject a special permit project just because it doesn't fit? And Jonathan said yes, but it almost never happens because that's not enough. And when I read this, I feel like you can reject, like you have the right to reject with this special permit, the way that it's written. You know, and I'm not going to go back to data centers because that's something different, but you know, some of these language things, if you don't have the right, then we need to put the right in there so you have the right to say no. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Dr. Angelina Wagner. I live on Providence Street in Putnam. I've been following this application since nearly its inception within these commissions and boards, and something that specifically with the resubmission of this application that has stuck out is it feels like Frankenstein's monster. And I say that so respectfully that the perception of it looks like they are presenting information to different commissions and boards and organizations to get the yes from them in order to pass this application. I say that because piggybacking off of what Michelle was pointing out is the ITE code is 150, and that's just a traditional warehouse. However, their listing for this for potential occupants says that it is a warehouse, distribution, and manufacturing. So information in each place is being presented differently. And I just need that to be on the record, that none of this feels truthful. It feels like they are painting the prettiest picture possible. I commend Brian for asking for the worst case scenarios in the traffic study to know what's going to go in there, because again, this is still a black box. We don't know what's going to go in there. They're not being upfront about what's going to go in there, and I think that's important to note. Thank you.
Ulatique Barclay, 26 Dark Lantern Hill Road. I'm here as a town council member representing the people in my District 3 and also as a citizen. I'd like to thank you for serving, and as you come to the difficult decision whether or not to approve this project, remember the purpose of the planning and zoning regulations set forth by the town of Killingly and the responsibility of the commission members to fulfill the regulations. Article 1, Section 120, intent. Number 3, to provide for the beneficial circulation of traffic throughout the town, having particular avoidance or lessening of congestion in the streets. So we have already heard from Ms. Murphy, we have heard from Charles Vidic, and we have also heard from Ms. Rogers, a longtime bus driver, and her concerns for the safety of the students. And yes, it is a very congested area already. Number 4, to secure safety from fire, panic, flood, and other dangers. As a black box warehouse distribution center, because that is what it's said on their papers, that it's a distribution center. Still black box. We don't know what it's going in there. They say it's not hazardous, but is there anything in writing? Because they do not know what is going to occupy that building. And there is already problems with water at one of the residences. When there's blasting, what is going to happen to all of that water that's already coming down the hill, and especially with the deforestation of that area. Number 5, to protect and ensure the existing or planned character of all parts of the town and hereby aid in maintaining their stability and value, and to encourage the orderly and beneficial development of all parts of the town. So it may be zoned general commercial, it may be a permitted use, but did anybody look at the property? Did anybody look at its proximity to an aquifer prior to the zone change and prior to adding these permitted uses to that property? Number 8, to protect inland wetlands, flood-prone areas, and other natural resource areas of the town. We don't know the effects of the blasting, and the blasting is going to be tremendous. There's been no hydrogeological study of how the aquifers in the water is going to be impacted, and nor do we know how the septic system is going to work, because it also may go into the rock and all the cracks and pollute the waterways. And most importantly, to promote the health, safety, and general welfare of the residents of the town. Thank you.
I'm going to be very quick, as I was going to talk about this earlier when I couldn't. Ida Barris, 1123 North Road. Just say no. Thank you.
Rebecca Rainville, 120 Leho Road again. And I agree with her, just say no. We don't owe the Husky Project people, we don't owe Mr. Olson, and we don't owe these people that want to build up on, off of 101, anything. We don't need them in our town, and I'm tired of hearing the word from these experts, insignificant, minimal, slight, not much impact, but there is a huge impact because Route 12 and 101, just coming down 101 is dangerous as it is with Aldi's coming out of there, Zips Diner. You have the school buses, you have Killingly High School, you have Killingly Central School, and then you'll have the Killingly Memorial School coming to drop off their kids, also Route 12, heading north and south. So if this building is going to be located off behind Burger King, and they're coming down and they're heading down Route 12 south into the intersection to take a right, and then they want to get on 395 south, there's like no room for even 3 cars to get on the highway, and sometimes we're waiting 1, 2, 3 minutes to take a left to head on to 395 south. And if you have more tractor trailers, so not only will you have them from Husky if that goes through, but then you'll also have them from this distribution center. Where is everybody going to go? We are going to have more accidents, and we are not the city. We are supposed to be a rural, the northeast, the quiet corner. It's going to impact all the people that live right on Route 12 there. The Owen Bell Park, the kids, playing in the park, and the traffic. We have enough tractor trailers now trying to get through. It's just a nightmare. Like I said, we don't owe these people anything. We don't owe them anything. We owe the town. We owe the citizens peace and quiet to live in our neighborhoods without constant traffic, 2, 3, 4, 6, 800 trucks a day, smoke pollution, water pollution. And if they're going to be blasting up on that hill, water and chemicals find the least way to go. So, they say, minimal impact on the water. It's not true. Water will find its way anywhere, the least resistance. And chemicals in the water also. They already have PFAS in Killingly from the mill fire and stuff. I mean, what more do the citizens, how long do we have to keep fighting? We don't owe them anything. We just need to deny it, and they can go into an industrial park where they belong, and they can make their buildings smaller. We don't need these concrete monstrosities in our country, our area here. We're supposed to be the quiet corner. It's not. We're going to become New Haven and Bridgeport. That's what we're going to look like. Thank you. And my kids, Private Emma Rainville in the U.S. Army, Zachary, also in the U.S. Army, and my husband, Chris Rainville, are also against both projects. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Beth Chartier, live at 1445 North Road, and I just want to say for the record that I agree with all of the other residents that have spoken here tonight with all of the concerns that they have. The scale of these proposals does not fit our community. I don't want them here, and I hope that you will vote no with prejudice because I don't want them back. Thank you.
Robin Lofquist, 25 La Fantasy Road. I just want us to say that if this goes through, I think the traffic primarily will have a hugely adverse impact on existing businesses in that area. I don't live that close to Hartford Pike or Putnam Pike, but when I do my grocery shopping, I usually go to Big Y, and then I go to Stop and Shop, and because I like to get the best of everything, and I'll never go to Stop and Shop anymore. It'll just be a nightmare. It'll take an extra hour to do it. The only other thing that I wanted to mention is that, as someone else mentioned, right now, there's not a lot of room if you're turning left to try and get onto 395 North. And already cars back up through the whole intersection. People get crazy when they have to sit through a light 2 or 3 times. They're not going to drive safely. They're going to take chances. They're going to zip around each other. They're going to clog up the intersection. There's going to be a lot more accidents and a lot more road rage because people have to sit there and wait at the light. So that's my 2 cents.
Barbara Ahern, Killingly Drive. The way that people in other communities have fought these distribution centers and things like that is by changing their zoning laws when they can. I don't know how you guys do that, but you can change your zoning laws. Can you get rid of these special permits? Should people be able to just build things without you having any knowledge of what it is? And you know, just also to say one more time that wherever you live in this town, like look at the wildfires bringing all of the toxicity to this area. What do you think all of the construction on both of these sites is going to do to your air and your water? But these particles are going to float everywhere with construction debris, and they're going to affect your lives and everyone in this community. Please say no. You have a second chance at this. There's no one in this room who wants this except the person who is selling his land. I've not heard one person be in favor of this, and that alone should be a big no. Thank you.
Good evening, Claudette Rogers, Putnam Pike. I just wanted to, from driving in the town for the last 30 years, you know, I've lived in Ottawagan my whole life, and I have driven a bus through town, and I'll just put this intersection with Route 12 coming out the driveway as the same as on Route 21 without a big hill. When I'm in a bus or in a tractor trailer truck, or I don't see regular trucks that go down 21. When you turn out of 21, you lose your sight from that way. They cannot trim the ledge. It's all ledge from the town garage. Yeah, you know, there's houses up on the ledge, and then there's ledge. So across from NECOG and the dog pound there's a section a little bit further where all the wetlands are past NECOG. There's a section on the right-hand side of the ledge that leaches out water in the cold months. You got a fresh spring there. It's a fresh spring right there on Route 12. So I know that 100%, the water from 420 feet up on a ledge comes down the ledge. It comes down. And that's where our protected aquifer is, right there. And so I don't know how or whatever we decided as a town. You know, I think when they tried putting Walmart in town, that I think we came back with a pretty strong, like, this isn't the vision we have for the town. I don't think that the vision committee came up with the vision of us being the distribution center. But I just wanted to the traffic safety of this being where it's going to be, that there's not more than a foot in some spots right along that section. There are already tractor trailer trucks that go the wrong way. I've seen them in Blueville. I've seen them going past my house. I've seen them on Upper Maple, like the lady had said earlier. You know, it says no trucks through. And I just don't understand either how our traffic studies can only come from like one direction. This is just coming, they're doing the study from 101 and Putnam Pike. But if you go in front of Dunkin' Donuts, where that intersection is, if you did a traffic study from Dunkin' Donuts, Route 12, there's an accident there at least once a month. That intersection is already awful, and yeah, just piggybacking on everybody's saying of turning on to 12 from, turning on to 101 from 12, that's, you have to take up both lanes, especially if you're going south on 395. If you're not going north, you're taking up both lanes, and then, yes, I've already seen it. I have it on camera somewhere, of a tractor-trailer truck doing that, and it being backed up from the intersection all the way to, like, through the intersection. So they're blocking traffic all ways, and that's already now, and I don't understand traffic studies, and, but I have heard somebody get up here and say that they said that it was actually going to improve our traffic, whatever they put in here is going to improve the traffic in town. It's not, it doesn't get, you go so many levels up to every year or whatever because of normal traffic, but we got a 7-Eleven going in. So we don't even have a baseline of what kind of traffic the 7-Eleven truck stop is going to bring. We don't have a baseline for that. And you're talking about the high school being there. Yes, we have high school kids that walk up there and walk down there. We got pedestrians that walk up and down there. But we also have the Killingly Central School that, like I said, I don't understand how in a traffic study for anything, you can just look at like north or south, like Amazon was doing there, east or, I think you guys should really ask for all four directions, traffic study, because I don't get to go one direction. We bus for both sides, all the buses have to bus elementary kids, KIS kids, high school kids, because we've done that in transportation department, where when I first started, I just did the north side of town for Killingly Central School, and somebody did the south side of town. Now, north and south go both ways. That's an extra 20 minutes on every run. Those kids are only allowed on the bus for an hour. In town, home to school, 1 hour. You're telling me this is not going to affect all the stuff that we're proposing as a town? It's not going to affect? And when my son went to school, kids weren't allowed to cross 101 or 12. They had to be dropped off on the same side of the road. Now I'm dropping off people's kids that rode my bus as kids, and they're like, why are we dropping off on Route 12 now? That's what we do. That's what we do, unless you're me, and I rearrange my bus run, because I ain't doing it. I ain't dropping off by Sales Ave. I ain't dropping off by Extra Mart, or it's not even Extra Mart anymore, you know what I mean, over there by the Dayville Fire Department. I ain't dropping off down there. The trucks fly through there already, coming around that corner. It's a danger. It's a hazard for our kids. And I think, like I said before, we just gotta slow down. We woke the beast. The public is watching now. We've all been sitting at home eating our bonbons, letting you guys do all the fun stuff. And now we're watching, and we're hoping for better for the next generations. Thank you.
Hello, Russ Goulet, Quinns Hill Road in Dayville. I don't have anything really new, and I'm not going to take up half of the 3 minutes. But we're hoping that the squeaky wheel is going to get the grease here. And I guess this is my last ditch effort, a plea pleading with you, because you have the power. So I'd ask this, please don't ruin the traffic in our town. Please don't risk the safety of our students and the general public. Please don't risk the quality of our water. Please don't destroy this quiet area with noise 24/7. Please don't ruin the aesthetics of our beautiful rural area. Please don't destroy the animal habitat. And please don't add light and air pollution to our existing situation. And please, last of all, don't destroy our quality of life, which would probably be forever. So what I'd like you to do, and please do this, decline this permit. We don't even know who or what will be in these buildings. And I think, I said this before, but I think approving this project and, the Westcott one will be an invitation to the world to come on in our area for data centers, which is 20-to-1 in demand compared to these distribution centers. So thank you for listening, and I hope you make the right decision for all of us. Thank you.
From the podium or from this thing.
If you're done with public
One more guy speaking, gentlemen.
I have one more comment. My name is Sam Mosier. I live at 6 Mountain View Landing. And my comment is very simple. This company came in here promising jobs, promising all kinds of things. And guess what? If you read a little bit, you'll find out that our illustrious company run by Jeff Bezos likes to do nothing but make money.
I think you're
Okay.
talking about Amazon, and this is not Amazon.
I'm talking about Amazon.
Yeah, this is an Amazon. This public hearing is about Route 12, warehouses on Route 12, so it's not Amazon.
Well,
Jesus, I thought I shut
let
you
me
up.
maybe say this, that all these warehouses promise jobs, promise all kinds of money. And if you look at how things are coming in the future, you will realize that in about 4 or 5 years, there won't be any people working there, or very few. And I don't know how up to date you guys are really on how these robots are coming in. The people that run warehouses, very easy to put robots in there and do all the work. Okay? So if you're looking at the future and what's going to happen to this community, think ahead. That's all I'm saying. Thank you.
Yeah. Mr. Redgate?
Very quickly, Mr. Chairman, we had done a very thorough presentation, I think, back in June. That's why we didn't want to repeat it this evening for the benefit of the gentleman. I don't think he was here in June. I didn't recognize him, who lives by the high school.
I think it may have been May.
Oh, May, I'm sorry. Well, in any event, we're happy to have Derek walk you through the site plan again.
You get the mic on? I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's on. I'm trying not to get the feedback. But I don't recall seeing him when we made our more thorough presentation. We're happy to have Derek walk you through the site plan. If anyone, wants to see, the details again. I also know you have a long agenda, but we're happy to do whatever you want to do if you think is for the public's benefit. Probably take us 3 minutes.
I think
Go.
also.
I'm not going to deny information.
You could put up the site plan set, or not so much the plan set, just the rendering of the. The rendering of the site plan, if you could just put it up on the screen.
Okay.
I think we just want to clarify maybe, we maybe should have gave a where we are in the process here and how we're here tonight. In May, I believe, we gave a pretty descriptive, detailed presentation of the entire project. It probably lasted 30 to 45 minutes, which is probably on your website for anybody to watch it. Like I said, we're happy to reiterate some of the stuff, but we didn't think the board would want the same 45-minute presentation that was done in May. I also want to say, in May, after the presentation, it was determined that a third-party reviewer, it was appropriate for this project. So I just want to make it clear that Mr. White and Mr. Cloutier are third-party reviewers from another consultant that the applicant pays their fee on behalf of the town to review our work in the standard way that zoning and engineers do their work. So, they may use words like minimal and slight, but I just want to make it clear that they are working on behalf of the town at the applicant's fee. And so in the last time we were here was May. That's when the lengthy, full, what we call dog and pony show was presented for us to get a contract for Ty and Bond to do the peer review. Meant we continued the hearing in June. So here we are in July. So I think I just wanted to clarify that process. We probably should have made that a little clearer at the beginning. This was an application that we made. We pulled it and reapplied, yes. And that was a time duration issue.
So Derek, can you just?
Yeah, so this is the rendering of the project. It shows the two distribution centers. The main road. I'm going to turn this off just because I'll talk loud.
Is his on?
If you want to move your phone away from it, that might help. But you have to keep one of them on for the people online.
Mine is up.
There you go. So it's two warehouse buildings proposed with one main entrance located off of Route 12. The location was chosen with a number of reasons, but mostly site distance on Route 12 limited us to where this entrance would be. And also the grades of the site to get up also determined this layout, where the entrance would be, and where the buildings are located. I'm happy to answer very specific questions are in the plan about the square footage of each building. I think it's 179 is the one on the left, and 275 roughly for the one on the right. Designed to have employee parking as well as employee parking on one side, as well as trailer bays and trailer storage on the other side. And they're linked together with an access road that, where Jonathan has his cursor, which is the most minimal crossing of wetlands on the site. So the location of the buildings and the access that connected the two were designed with the wetlands locations in mind to minimize the impact on those. So we have obtained a permit for the wetlands from the IWWC.
So I think on that submission set, which was part of the April 20th set, there's 12 exhibits generally that go through your plan set, your stormwater set, your traffic impact, architecturals, soil scientist report. I believe there's a fire report, other health department test. There were some other documents that were part of, I think, the initial back and forth. mainly, I think, with the wetland submission. I could be wrong in terms of geotech. Some of those exhibits were looked at through our town engineer at the time because there was no third party for that one. Those documents actually, a copy of those have, as of today, been sent over to the third party for their consideration as well. But through you, Mr. Chair, or through the applicant, if I have any of the exhibits available digitally, if you guys want, or they're just generally part of the packet, or part of the record. So if at any point you want to reference them or go back to any of them, we can.
I'm not going to speak for the rest of the commission, but I know, to me, it's a major input to me is what Ty and Bond are going to respond, or your response to Ty and Bond. You got 11 pages of comments. And there's been no changes since the original submission in May or June, whatever it was. Any other questioners? Go ahead.
I'd like to mention one thing. I clearly remember the presentation, and obviously some people weren't in attendance that evening, and I think it was in May that the presentation was made, and that's how this review got authorized by this group at your expense, which we're viewing this evening. So it's incorrect that there was no information provided on this issue.
Right, and I think I just wanted to clarify the process that we've gone through.
All right.
Just speaking back again to the previous meetings, our YouTube is our video record. In particular, Facebook has a habit of deleting live stream videos after 30 days or so. So the YouTube archive, we do dual transmission so that it is sent out there. We keep those records as best as possible through technology. So there's a link on the town website to our YouTube, but if for some reason any member of the public or anyone in general can't find the videos or wants to look through any of the documentation instead of on a screen but in person, I have those all in my office in the Planning and Development office. We're here Monday through Friday during regular business hours.
Okay, thank you. One last time for a comment from the public. Okay. Do we need a motion to continue this, right?
Yes, please.
John makes a motion to continue. Do we have a second? Mike makes the second. Any further discussion? August 17th. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed or
Aye.
abstentions? Thank you, Norman. I forget you were there. Okay, that public hearing is continued. Okay, so now, subdivision application 261372, CJJ Adventures LLC, 647 Putnam Pike, GIS map 17, lot 1, 31 acres, RD zone, 3-lot subdivision, continued from June 15th. They're still pending, so I was under the impression that the engineer was going to be here, but he's not.
So Dan Blanchett is here. He's on virtually.
Good evening, everyone.
Okay, so go ahead, do whatever.
All right, terrific. For the record, I'm Dan Blanchett. I'm a licensed civil engineer and land surveyor. I'm here tonight on behalf of the applicant CJJ Adventures, who are proposing to construct 2 new building lots, each with 1 duplex on them. The property is located at 647 Putnam Pike, right at the Putnam town line. The site again has one existing dwelling. The applicants are proposing to create 2 new lots, each with 1 duplex. We are still working through the wetland process. The Wetland Commission asked for some additional information regarding wetland remediation. And so I'm working through that. And so I would ask that the commission continue this till August, or please grant us an extension.
And I believe you guys have seen this plan set before, but I can pull them up if you want. But having staffing on the Wetlands Commission, the intent, or most likely the plans are going to be modified based off of their feedback before your next month's meeting.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, there is potential for changes being made to it, so I don't know, unless the commissioners want anything else at this point, but it seems like it's going to be changed, so it should just wait, but it's up to you.
Sounds like a good idea.
John? Brian?
Are they within their allotted time? They don't need to request an extension?
They have to grant an extension for us to go to the next month, but the next month's meeting is also, I believe, the end of time for this application before you, based off the submission date. I believe it would be pretty much the next month's meeting.
Okay, so the applicant is granting us an extension?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
All right, sir.
Thank you.
Do we need a motion, right? We said a motion? We already did that?
No, we
Good.
need that. No, we need the motion.
Oh, okay, another motion then.
Yeah, motion to continue to August 17th.
Second.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you, Norm. Opposed or abstentions? None. Okay, that's continued.
All right. Thank you, everyone. I'll see you in August. Take care. Have a good evening.
Yep. Zone map change application 261373 Summertime Properties LLC, 286 Main Street, Daniel K. Baugh, 314 Broad Street. It's to change the zone from residential high density to general commercial in the borough. The applicant has requested a continuance to the next P&Z meeting, August 17th, 2026. Jonathan, do we have any options on this? Because we're going to have 2 major projects going on at the same time. And now we got this one, and then this one, and then there's still several others. Shouldn't we reconsider changing some of these to September?
So the Summertime Properties one in particular was advertised for tonight. But if you choose not to open the public hearing, we could re-advertise it. I believe it's within that time frame to push to the September meeting, if you so choose. If you want to just take the continuance tonight, I believe there also would be generally enough amount of time, to look at this application. Relatively straightforward in terms of map change or not, but that is up to you guys, how you guys want to do it. You do have the option. You could choose to schedule in September.
So you wanted to open it tonight?
If we open it tonight, we don't have to re-advertise in terms of legal costs, in terms of the Norwich Bolton.
But there's nobody here to present for it? Or?
No, the applicant has, there's an email from attorney Nick Scola with Summertime Properties LLC requesting a postponement or a rescheduling of the hearing for the zone change until the August meeting.
Any ideas from the commissioners?
That one's pretty early, so if for some reason in the August meeting we don't, if the 2 applications in front of it take the entirety of the meeting, that one would, we would just either do a special meeting or it would automatically be at the next meeting. It's up to you.
I'm looking for guidance from somebody.
I mean, I'd personally rather not open it. I mean, I don't know if any public here to speak to it,
Right.
but there's no applicant to give us a presentation on it. All we have is an email, so. I'd
Yeah,
rather just
so
postpone it till August.
So rescheduling it.
Reschedule till August.
Reschedule instead of opening it necessarily.
That'd be my
Then, yeah, because typically you have 65 days to open your public hearing here. So we should have plenty of time to do that. We will be doing other legal ads anyway, so it's not a big deal to tack it on.
Okay, do we need a motion for that one as well?
If you want to make a motion to reschedule the opening of the public hearing to next month.
Somebody make that motion, please.
Yeah. I make a motion to reschedule this, to open this public hearing to August 17th on application 26-1373.
You have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, or
Aye.
abstention? Thank you, Norm. Okay, that's rescheduled then. Okay, special permit application 261374. Correct me if I'm misspelling this, missaying it. Maher Shah, MSDS, DC Realty Trust, landowner, 544 Main Street, Unit 546, JIS map 175, Lot 10, Village Commercial, for a retail liquor store from 162 Main Street. Open a public hearing. If it continues as required, it be continued to the August 17th, 2026 meeting. Again, are we in the same situation, or we have an applicant?
No,
Okay.
we have an applicant here tonight.
Okay.
Hi, good evening, everybody.
Yes.
Try the other mic.
Hi, my name is Mihir Shah, and I'm in process of purchasing Jimmy's Liquor Store down the road, and I wanted to move it to 544 Main Street for a bigger space and more parking.
Okay. That, if I remember, that was a liquor store years ago.
Yes.
It was a long time ago. Does anybody have any questions? I really don't. It was like a liquor store. It's got a large parking area. I don't know.
So I just put up on the screen for you guys, this was a previous site plan application at the time showing a change of use for the proposed property. I believe we're talking this unit right here, the second from the
From the
end.
left, yeah.
Second from the left, which at the time was a proposed restaurant. And then they showed some restriping. If you've driven by there recently, there has been some sealing and restriping that's been going on in the last week or so for that property. But we're talking this retail space, I believe, right there, that particular unit.
Just because this is a special permit, there are certain criteria you do need to step through, right? And there's certain things in our zoning regs that you need to address for. So I don't know if you have those and you're prepared to talk through those items.
Not really, no.
Yeah, so we at least need you to go through those and talk through each one of those special permit conditions and address how this development, even though you're moving from one facility to what was a previous location, it's not yours, it is a new use of that property. So you just need to walk through those special permit criteria if you can.
Okay.
And I don't know if you want to wait till next month, prepare to do that, but you just need to address those for us.
Can I try?
You can, if Jonathan has a hard copy to give you, or I can give him one.
I don't have a hard copy in front of me, but if you have one, we can put it in front of them. Otherwise, I can put it up on the screen.
Under 720.4, the nature and the nature of the proposed site, including its size, shape, and the proposed size, shape, and arrangement of structures. So what's the building, the parking lot? Just make a verbal description, please.
So the building square footage is about 3,500 square feet. There's about 30 parking spaces in the front of the building. There's about at least 10 parking spaces behind the building for staff members. There's trash cans behind the building. There's entrance behind the building for deliveries.
Jonathan, could you highlight the unit we're talking about, please?
Right there.
Okay. I think that's the only vacant one in the building, if I remember
It
right.
is, yes.
The resulting traffic patterns, adequacy of proposed off-street parking and loading, and avoidance of hazards to pedestrians. So, where would you be loading and unloading your stock?
Behind the building. There's an
Behind the-
entrance behind the building where they can load.
And you got access for your parking, for
Yes,
plenty
same,
of parking?
yes.
For all the buildings, all the units there too, as
Yes,
well?
everybody has space.
And the pedestrians, how about safety of the pedestrians? Is there a walkway in the front of the building, isn't there?
I don't believe there's a walkway.
There is a concrete walkway with an overhang along the front of the building in
That's
this
what I
area.
remember, because you go into the last building. Okay. The nature of the surrounding area and the extent to which the proposed use or feature will be in harmony with the surrounding area or will serve as a transition between unlike areas and will protect property values and preserve and enhance the beauty of the area. So, the buildings south and north on the same side of the street is residential, or that's commercial as well?
I'm gonna pull up the GIs for you.
Okay. I think this, across the street is all commercial?
It's all
It's
commercial.
a strip commercial?
Yes, there's
And then the
Sugar's
gas
Bakery.
station?
Yeah, gas station further down a little bit.
If you could maximize that. So 544 is here. It is kind of a funky spot in terms of our underlying zoning. You have this black line that cuts through here. That is the borough of Danielson. Where, as referenced across the street, is Sugar's Bakery. It's an old, actually, car dealership in that area. It's more of a grandfathered-in commercial use, similar as the gas station up here. It has a grandfathered-in use, and then this one parcel right here is a village commercial one. Just a really complex area, might actually be a great area to look at in terms of our current zoning. But the subject area 544 is right here, and I can go as far as probably doing this, if this helps. There's some conversation about the front of the building there. The unit in question, I believe, is it this unit or?
Yes. No, it's that one.
This one?
No, the one with the sign on top.
Yep, that one right there.
yeah.
Yep, so that's that second to the left unit. I believe now there's a vape retail business in here. You have Hammerhead, you have the laundromat. I think this one is vacant unless are you taking that unit as well?
No, that's Aerial 51. It's like.
Oh, yeah, it's a fitness.
Yeah,
Yep,
fitness place.
place, so.
So the next line is the proximity of dwellings, churches, schools, public buildings, and other places of public gatherings. So residential to the south.
Residential use and zone to the south, residential use and zone to the north, east, residential zone to the west, but not use.
Right, and these buildings have existed since how long?
This particular building was constructed 1967.
Yes. And so everything there, I'm assuming, meets the regulations as it.
The building as it sits would be legal nonconforming in terms of the current regulations.
Okay.
Yep.
One more section, requirement of setbacks. This is an existing building, right? Just meeting.
Yes.
Requirement of screening, park areas, and I think this is more to do with new. But is that fenced in around there? The building, the parking lot, the whole lot?
Yeah.
And are you gonna do any modifications to the building?
There's some like stone walls around it.
Okay.
On this side, there's a retaining wall, but I believe this unit has an easement that comes through for rear parking. So there's, some.
For the house?
Yeah, for a driveway, yep. But there's no fencing, really.
Okay. So are you gonna modify anything on the building, the facade, or anything else?
Not really, just inside we're gonna install a
Just
walking
inside.
cooler, shelving and stuff, nothing outside besides
So
putting up a
nothing to
new
change
sign.
the outside appearance?
No, just putting up a new sign on top, that's it.
740.4, limitation of size, number of occupants, methods, and time of operations. Your hours of operation?
Be 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., which is the Connecticut law for Monday through Saturday, and Sunday it's 10 to 6.
So Connecticut law. basically.
Yes.
Regulation of number, design, and location of access drives or other features, including pedestrian ways. Basically, what existing and is what you're gonna use.
Yes.
Requirements of off-street parking, special features beyond a minimum required by these regulations or other application codes or regulations. So your parking is all defined, like Jonathan, I think, said, it's been all marked out recently, just repainted.
There, yeah.
And outdoor lighting. You have any outdoor lighting?
They have poles.
Poles
around.
and lighting?
Yes.
Okay. I think that's it, Jonathan.
Yeah, and just kind of going back to the parking table, the restaurant use was more restrictive, required more spots than the retail category. So this would be more in the retail category. So there should be additional parking than what's currently shown.
Okay. Any other questions from commissioners? None? Anything else you want to add?
Nope, that's it. Thank you.
Do we want to make a motion of some kind to close the public hearing? Huh? Oh, public comment, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Public comment, anybody want to speak to this application? No?
It's not on. Now we're on. Hi, Dr. Angelina Wagner of Putnam. I just want to say that I'm in support of this application because you guys haven't heard those words from me yet, and I want to support this wonderful businessman. That's all.
Anybody else? Okay. All right, now, want to close this public hearing? Somebody make a motion?
Make a motion to close the public hearing on application 26-1374.
A second? Second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed,
Aye.
abstention? Thank you, Norm, again. Okay, then.
So just be clear, they closed the public hearing. They're going to vote on you, I would assume, in a few minutes. Okay.
Okay. Unfinished business, special site plan review application 26-1364 Ryan Companies. That one has been withdrawn. And the applicant withdrew this application on July 15th. A new application, 1636, and PNZ 261383 were filed on July 16th, 2026, and will be formally received at the next regular meeting of those respective commissions. So ours will be August. It'll be received. And then we'll start acting on it in September. Correct, John?
Yep, that's correct. You'll see in your packet, there was some items that were kind of transferred to you with that last application. They were addressed to the commission prior to withdrawing, so I just wanted to include those so that way you did receive them, generally speaking. There was a letter dated July 1st, 2026 from Attorney Cody. I believe that touches on or focused on some of your questions, Mr. Sarantopoulos. There was also then the withdrawal. I'm realizing in terms of the pages, there was a notice in here for Connecticut Deep in regards to the on-site septic system, I believe it's Deep and also State Health. That notification, it's kind of inserted in the middle of a letter, so I do apologize for that. But all of those documents were uploaded as part of the packet, but there are some of the new documents, the new application, all of the things will be under the newest application number, will also get uploaded to our website this week, hopefully tomorrow. So if anyone were to want to submit comment on any of those applications, wetlands or planning and zoning, just ask that you reference the new application numbers.
Where am I?
Jonathan, can you just remind the applicant that we're going to need copies of all the new stuff? Or you're
They
gonna
are
give me
in my
copies?
office.
Okay.
I have hard copies of everything. So
Right.
there's 2 huge piles of stuff. So I will be anytime if you guys want to pick up your copy, feel free in advance. If not, I will. It'll be part of your packet.
Thank you, because as I saw the withdrawal letter, all my stuff gets where it normally goes.
Yep. The old stuff we keep a copy, but the new stuff we have all that already here. Hard copies and digital.
That's on their new submission.
Yeah, they're new submissions in our office, so we have a complete set if anyone wants a copy in advance.
So we don't have to do anything with that.
No, it's essentially data filing. It's just letting everyone know, being as transparent as possible, that they did file.
Okay.
Yeah.
Special.
Good, Mr. Chairman. You mentioned a comment that I was involved in. I'd like to have this checked out by our attorney, if you could, various cases on what my position is concerning Mr. Cody, is that it?
Yep. So I will provide this over to Attorney Ken Slater.
Thank you, appreciate it.
And just to be clear, this is regarding just general differences between
The
site
statement that they're.
between
yeah.
site plan and special permit, but
They've made that
it's
statement 100 times already.
for the previous application, but
Well, I'm sure it's going to be in the new one as well.
I'm not sure yet. I would imagine, but I'm just being clear that this is part of just a general question as it relates.
I'd like to know what's factual and what isn't.
Yep. So site plan versus special permit with
That's correct,
off-site
yeah.
traffic versus on-site
Yeah,
traffic.
where
Understood.
they're stating it's been ruled that on a site plan review, we have no authority to go
Yep.
and question anything in the surrounding area.
Yep. I know Attorney Slater is on right now, but we'll give him a chance to look at your document and then
Okay, thank you.
allow him to respond.
Okay. Special permit application 261368, Killenly One LLC, 90 Putnam Pike. That's continued. Subdivision application 261372, CJJ Adventures LLC, that's continued. And zone map change 261373 Summertime Properties LLC, Main Street, that one is continued. That leaves special permit application number 261374. Correct it, me here. Shaw, MSDC Realty Trust landowner, 544 Main Street, Unit 546, JS map 175, Lot 10, Village Commercial, for retail liquor store deliberation. Can I have a motion, please?
I would make a motion to accept application 20. Approve. I'm
Or
sorry.
deny?
Approve application 26-1374.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
John seconds it. Any further discussion? Okay, roll call vote.
Brian Card,
Yes.
Norm Farren,
Yes.
Michael Hugo,
Yes.
John Sarantopoulos.
Yes.
Keith Thurlow.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously.
Congratulations.
So we'll be putting a legal notice in the Norwich Bulletin that starts a review period or a potential appeal period if anyone so wishes. But we'll be sending you a formal decision letter for you to record with the town clerk. Okay.
All right, site plan review, application 261375, the Connecticut Water Company, construction of an 80 by 30 PFAS treatment building for the existing drinking water treatment plant, Hopkins APA number 69, 1017 North Main Street, map ID 1315, alternate ID 131-3, industrial zone. Receive application. If the commission agrees, it may be referred to town staff. Yeah.
Good evening, Madam Wing, Senior Engineer for the Connecticut Water Company, here to discuss the PFAS addition for our current treatment plant over at 1017 North Main Street. We're proposing a 80 by 30 building to house the PFAS contactors to continue to maintain the drinking water standards that we need to for CTDPH and Connecticut, not Connecticut, but the EPA. So this fortifies that we can continue to use these wells and maintain the same water quality that we're continuing to make now without having to manage our existing resources and wells. So this gives us a little bit better way and better chance at maintaining our entire source water out there without having to monitor what we're taking out at all times. So EPA is regulated that every utility in the United States meets the 4 part per trillion or less for drinking water standards and has to be in place by 2029, and we are meeting that. I believe we are meeting that today. We are definitely meeting the Connecticut standards that are still in place, so this is our effort to make the system more robust and make it continue to meet all the standards that are coming down the pike and need to be met by 2029. So in the building, it's smaller than the existing building. It's in and behind the current treatment plant that's there. It's taller. I think it's on sheet, is it A201? It is taller only to meet the sizing of the vessels that we needed to use. We're using granular activated carbon, essentially large Brita filters, to remove PFAS. It's one of the few ways that's been not allowed, but at least tested to make sure that PFAS will be removed and can be removed on a lead lag basis. So the reason we need 4 vessels is so that we're running the main flow in 2 separate trains. So it comes in, it splits, it goes through 2 filters in a lead lag configuration. So in the way it's set up, we're actually treating it 2 times the length of time that is required by EPA, but that is the standard. So we are in the industrial zone, so we, I believe, still meet the eave height out here. And we stayed out of the 100-year floodplain as best we could, and actually believe we did manage to do so with the updated survey that we did, and have built our facility to be the same height as the existing one, for the finished floor, which is, I believe, a few more feet over the 100-year floodplain, which we need to be above that for Connecticut DPH standards anyway. So that we did that to match and maintain the same level of regulation. We do have lighting planned for here. However, the lights on this part of the facility will likely only be by light switch and be probably a spotlight for as needed material or equipment moving. There's no reason that we would be going in back here on a regular basis. If we had a light, or if it's elected by our operators to have a light here that's on a photovoltaic sensor, it would be dark sky compliant and be total cutoff right there by the facility.
Okay. Commissioners, you want to pass this on to staff? Can you turn it on over there? All right, so the question is, do you want to turn it over to staff, or do you want to get involved in having it at our next meeting? You feel it necessary, it's up to you.
My opinion.
Got a motion to turn it over to staff? Yep.
$13.75.
Second?
Mr. Hugo seconds it, John makes the motion, any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed or abstentions, none? So be it. You can work with Jonathan.
Wing, W-I-N-G. Adam, yes. No problem.
Yeah, and just to let everyone know, so that's what Wetlands did as well. So we'll be going through it and providing feedback for Connecticut Water on that.
Okay. Site plan review application 261376, Edward J. Esposito. Construction of a 100-foot by 50-foot warehouse for storage materials, 79 Commerce Ave, map ID 5335, alternate ID 181-15, Central Business District, Borough of Danielson. Receive and possibly turn over to staff. That's, Jonathan, you want to just briefly let everybody know what's going on?
I think we might have the applicant's engineer on as well. I did see him at one point. Yep. So Norm Tebow with Killingly Engineering is on. So, but while we wait for him to potentially unmute, I will pull up the plan.
There we go.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, that unmuting thing kind of messed me up. Thanks for the record, Norm Tebow, Killingly Engineering Associates. I was actually here for a couple of other applications, but I can certainly give you the rundown on this particular application. It's the existing home of Danielson Glass, the building that you see on the southern part of the drawing, which is your left. He owns that entire parcel that we're showing there, and what he wants to do is put a 50 by 100 foot metal building there to warehouse his lifts and trucks and things of that nature. Not going to be any of the manufacturing or anything for his business in there. That's all done within the existing building. Just something to get his equipment out because it's typically stored outdoors now. That's kind of it in a nutshell. It's pretty simple. And I know that Jonathan is still working with Wetlands to see how they go there because we are close to the river there, but it is a historically disturbed area, and with basically a reuse of an existing property.
So is that like the industrial zone, or?
Central Business District.
So it's business, not industrial?
So Central Business District, it was industrial. It got rezoned. that whole strip of Commerce Ave got rezoned. And a storage building, I believe, would meet under those regulations, but that would be part of the review. Central Business District allows for 100% lot coverage. The biggest thing that I looked at here, and I'm very familiar with the site, but the proximity of the river with the wetlands. The other part being our sewer moratorium. If there was any intention for connection. I talked briefly with the applicant, and he said maybe like a shower or a bathroom type facility inside of there, but there was no current plans, nor was there any current approval for that from the town engineer, WPCA.
I guess my only question would be, or concern would be the access to it, like is there going to be parking, or, how, is it just existing gravel, what you're doing for it, or?
Yeah, it's existing gravel pretty much everywhere. We do have an edge of pavement that we show there. I believe, if you can zoom in a little bit, see there's that retaining wall, and it says paved area. It's labeled there. So just sort of that sort of curved line to the right of where it says paved area is where it's paved currently. The rest of the stuff, it's compacted gravel. There are some areas that are kind of pavement millings, but he does not have any intention to actually pave it.
Okay, somebody make a motion, you want it to handle it, you want it to go staff?
I would just bring up that given all the public interest in warehouses and distribution centers, should we treat this one the same? Have them go through a site plan review with us.
Well, it's just, it's an accessory building for the existing business, is what it is. He's got his glass business there. He stores his lifts and his ladders and his trucks and so forth outside. He just wants to get them out of the elements.
Understood what the purpose is, but we're calling it a warehouse, and we have a lot of interest in warehouses right now.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever motion, somebody make a motion, and we'll go with it.
I mean, to treat it the same, I'd make a motion to put it as a site plan review on August 17th.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions?
Nay.
Nay. One nay?
Yeah, two.
Two nays. Oh, so three. Yes. No, I said yes. I'm sorry, No, she.
It's just massive warehouses, but this is for his business.
It's not a public hearing, sorry. Thank you.
So to be clear, it was 3-2.
Yes.
So you guys will keep it for
We'll
site plan
hear it.
review? Okay. Norm, since you were on, one point that I was going to ask for just clarity, if you don't mind updating the plan to overlay the floodplain at that edge.
Yeah,
it's elevated
absolutely.
in that area, so I
mean,
think that's important info.
I'll be honest with you, John. I didn't even know he submitted this. I
Okay.
gave him the plan to review with you, so I didn't realize he was submitting for an application.
I believe there's a couple notes scribed in the margins on this, so yes, I would imagine there would need to be some refinement. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, site plan review.
What are the three that said yes?
Myself and Mike.
Thank you very much.
Site plan review application 26-1377, Karen Realty LLC, proposed additional staff parking, 24 Putnam Pike. Map ID 685, alternate ID 114-59, general commercial district. Received and the commission agrees, could be referred to town staff. That's the dentist office behind, uphill from Town Fair Tire.
Yep, I'll bring that one up. I'm not sure if Dr. Karen is still on. I think he was on at one point, but hold on one second. There we go. So this is behind the existing doctor's office. You have existing parking area. Previously, the commission had approved an extension of this parking a few years ago, added additional parking, and that's what involved, some of this retaining wall structure here. For clarity, Dr. Karen LLC also.
Yeah, hello.
Yep.
Oh, hi, Dave Karen. I am on.
There we go.
Sorry, took a little bit to unmute.
Dave, do you want to go through it at all, or would you like me to finish summarizing it?
Oh, you can summarize if you want. I'm pretty sure you have a better idea.
Okay.
Can do better. Thanks.
So the goal here is to provide additional parking with a pervious paver, more of a landscaping type approach versus an asphalt to not add to the overall stormwater in that area. There's already pretty robust stormwater galley type system in the front. So trying not to add to that. This is essentially overflow, a double loading of parking where employees would be able to park and coordinate with their schedules on site with the doctor's offices. But I'll leave it to Dr. Karen to go into any additional detail on his proposal.
So you summarized it pretty well. Our biggest issue we have right now is when the 3 tenants are there with the amount of employees, it's just getting a little tight on parking and patients are circling. So I'm trying to put some parking for the employees so no one's trying to park on the driveway and making probably an unsafe area for travel. Patients that aren't really knowing where to park.
And so in terms of the off-street parking regulations, there's some provisions in there in terms of coordination with our town engineer as it relates to reduction of impervious area to provide potentially a scenario like this where instead of them just parking on the grass, there would be some landscaping or paver reinforcement, geotextile type of reinforcement that would allow for this. And I believe the applicant obviously is not only the owner of the building but also one of the tenants, and I think it's mainly his employees in terms of focusing on coordinating with those employees. I don't think there's any intention to have patrons parking on those spaces.
Problems elevating yourself while you sleep can actually help reduce snoring and acid reflux issues.
Here, let me show you the correct hand position.
Hello? Yeah, that's correct. It's just for employees.
You got a question? No. So you're making additional parking behind the existing parking, so the employees will park in that area only. Is that right?
Correct, because most don't leave at all during lunch or at the end of the day, so patients can easily kind of park behind them or in the regular spots and kind of blocking them in. No one's really exiting at different hours of the day.
So Jonathan, the question is that considered a safe situation? I mean, I've never seen this before. Not saying it's wrong, I just, from a zoning point of view.
Well, in terms of safety, we could get feedback from our fire marshal in terms of like emergency access, going up there. These types of paving improvements kind of walk that line of, or do we consider this a, overflow type of space, landscaping type space, or do we look at it for the under our off-street parking as a full expansion, right, of the parking area? That property to the north there is also owned by the same LLC. So in terms of landscaping versus parking improvement, if there needed to be a modification to meet, say, any separation type thing, if we're looking at it fully as a parking or not, but provided that there's clear instruction with the employees in terms of they're going to be blocked in, right, while they're parked there. It relates to their shifts, and that would be the main part that I would be concerned about in terms of someone not having access to their car. But the double loading, I mean, it's more common, in more urbanized areas to have double loading parking lots, parking, garages or structures where, parking attendants or someone helps police that.
Yeah, and the other thing you have to, I mean, I have no problem referring this to staff, but the other thing you have to look at is signage too, because customers or patrons are not going to block a car in if they see them pulled in. So they won't know that parking exists. They'll just think that's a deep parking stall. So you're gonna have to look at signage and dedicated parking for employees only or something to that effect, so that patrons know where to park.
Agreed. I think signage is important here, signage and then, striping at that edge to say, beyond this point is employee parking only. And, in that longer expanse, you'll have to see how that works in terms of, you're bookending it with signs, but you probably have to have some at the further end.
Yeah, because that's almost all the parking on the north side, I guess, or the west side, east
Yeah.
side, I think. And customers are going to come in and not know where to park,
Mhm.
especially behind the building, right up there in the deck or something.
So did somebody want to make a motion to do whatever?
I've got one more question. There's no wetlands there, is there?
No, not in that immediate area, no. I don't think there's anything within 200 feet in that area.
I'll make a motion to refer to staff. Application 261377.
Your motion again, because you are on the mic.
I'll make a motion that we refer to staff. Okay?
All right, second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Yuko. Any further discussion? Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions? Okay. Thank- What?
Hitting people's bikes.
God. Oh, Blue Frog, special permit application 261378, Blue Frog LLC. I'm gonna recuse myself, you're only receiving it, but it's for the, whatever, you guys handle it. Hmm?
All right, application 261378 is the app, that we're going to receive the application, scheduled for public hearing August 17th. Is it complete?
Yes, sir. We also have the applicant on, Kai Burke, with Blue Frog. If you guys had any questions or wanted him to give a brief summary.
It's got to be a public hearing anyway, right?
Yes, sir.
So might as well, no offense to the applicant, might as well wait till the public hearing to give the summary, unless the commission wants to hear otherwise. No.
You looking for a motion?
Yes, please.
Okay.
To receive
I
and
make a
schedule.
motion,
Mike?
Mike? Mike?
I make a motion, 261378 Blue Frog LLC, that we schedule this for a public hearing on August 17th.
All right. We have a motion to receive and schedule. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 All right. 4-0. Thank you.
Thanks all.
Let's see. Subdivision application 261379, A Caution Son LLC, proposed two-lot subdivision, 247 Yosemite Valley Road, map 10-122, alternate ID 29-4A, rural development, 5 Mile River overlay. Receive the application schedule for action, or schedule a public hearing. Does not have to be a public hearing if somebody don't want it, but it's up to you.
So there is 11 by 17 copies of that too, but I'm just pulling it up for you, just to give you just a very brief rundown. This is a two-lot subdivision. Lot 4 here has an existing home on it. Lot 4A is the one that is getting split with a proposed new 3-bedroom raised ranch. This application has already gone to the Wetlands Commission and has received an approval. There's, I believe, also a approved design from the Health Department for the septic.
A motion from anybody or discussion? Motion.
I mean, so we can't act on it tonight. We're gonna receive it. It's next month anyway.
It's just a question of whether or not you want to do a public hearing or not.
Yeah, that's, if we do a public hearing, is there any additional notification or anything you gotta do that's different?
Yes, I would have to advertise it twice in the Norwich Bulletin, and we would put up public hearing signs.
And we've always erred on the caution for subdivisions for public hearings, or because they're simple, but
There's also an additional cost to the applicant when we do it, to try to recoup the cost, but that's up to you guys.
I just don't want someone to come in and say that we didn't advertise a subdivision for 2 additional houses in a rural area, and someone says that we snuck it in, so.
Yeah, just to be clear, it's one additional house.
Sorry, one additional house, whatever, 2 lot subdivision. My recommendation is just we do the public hearing on it. Receive it, schedule the public hearing.
Is that a motion?
That would be my motion, yeah.
Second.
John makes the second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Oppose or abstentions? Okay.
And to be clear, that's for August as well.
Yes,
August
sorry.
17th. Yeah, well, that's a tentative date. We'll see August 17th, because it's gonna be a late night.
We have bylaws for that.
All right, 26, 1380 Belmont Homes. Proposed 2-lot subdivision, 761 Bailey Hill Road, map 10125, alt ID 125-5-2. Rural Development Zone, receive application scheduled for action, public hearing or not, August 17th.
Yep, same comment here from me, so I would.
Making a motion?
I would receive it, make a motion for a public hearing, August 17th.
Second.
Second by John. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed or abstentions? Okay. Ayes have it. Subdivision application 26-1381, Lenny Zadora and Sons LLC, proposed 6-lot subdivision, 169 Rock Ave, 32 Highview Drive, map 155 and 156. Alton ID 155-17, 156-88, low density zone, receive application and schedule for action for August 17th.
Yep, make a motion to receive and schedule for public hearing, August 17th, 2026.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Oppose or abstentions? I oppose. No, that was facetious. That was facetious. I just don't know how we're gonna fit it all in one night. An 824 review for the Town of Killenly Board of Education, construction of an emergency access road for Killenly High School athletic fields. 226 Putnam Pike at map ID 3431, alternate ID 792. Rural Development Zone, review, discussion, action. It's just an 824, so.
This is just an 824. I don't have Dave here tonight for this one, but the Wetlands Commission has approved. This is a modification of a previous approved plan. This was previously looked at as 824, but it was under the bucket of Board of Education. This is now switched to Town of Killenly, triggering a new 824. This modified plan provides for fire emergency access to the lower fields for Killenly High School with at a significant reduced cost than the original proposal, albeit it doesn't have all the bells and whistles of sidewalks and lighting and other items. There is a wetlands crossing as you get closer to the baseball fields, which is right in this area right here. There is a proposed crossing. The Wetlands Commission has approved it. I'm trying to see if I had a good overall. I think the town manager had a good overall in your council packet. This is to the northern end of the high school. It tees off of an existing access road that ties in, and here, well, I can do this if you guys want.
I have a question.
Sure.
There's no standard that this has to meet road standards? Yeah. Are there standards, road standards that this must meet?
So the main standards here, the fire marshal made a presentation regarding this, is as a fire access road in particular. It is performance in nature in terms of making sure that it can hold the largest apparatus that might need to access going down there. It's also width driven per the Connecticut codes and I believe NFPA codes for fire access roads. As far as our regulations, this is just an 824. We wouldn't typically look at this as like a site plan approved type application or anything like that. It's just more of just an emergency 824. It's an improvement to a town property. So I don't know if that answers all the concerns. It's not like our typical off-road parking regulations in terms of like a single-family house or a multifamily. We don't have defined records other than meeting minimums for emergency services.
Is this going to be used for access to that area by, not only the athletes, but by parents and everything?
I don't believe that's the current proposal. I believe the current proposal is simply as emergency access because this is unpaved road only, and I believe it will be gated off to prevent unwarranted access going in and out.
It's not really even connected to the paved road, is it?
It is not. I'm gonna pull up a GIS real quick for you so we can all be looking at the same thing.
It doesn't go down to Route 12?
No. This connects basically two fields. If I
Yeah,
could-
just a short distance between two paved areas.
Bear with me. I'm just gonna draft on here real quick. So it pretty much tees off in this area here. Oh, that's not what I want.
Close enough, John.
Hold on. Here, polyline. So, come on. Maybe not. There we go. Tees off in this area here, off of an existing fire access road. I can back out and show you where that goes. Comes up here to avoid the wetlands and then swoops into the field area in approximately this area. I would refer to the construction plans versus my sketch here, but the routing is to the northern end of Killingly High School, bringing you essentially between the baseball and softball fields, which would allow for emergency access. Other questions that were asked in terms of alternatives initially when we were looking at this with the high school was improving the existing walk that kind of goes down that's currently used. KB Ambulance, I know, had a couple incidences with drivers navigating the turn, with pedestrians also using that area, with I think an ambulance striking a gate at one point and even getting stuck off the side. When the school put in the concession stand on the southern point here, that's really limited our ability to go and make that sweep going through there. So ultimately, the original proposal by the high school, if you recall, teed off of this upper parking lot coming down and followed a very similar line, but was coming out over here. Had over 4,000 cubic yards of direct impact and fill. The original proposal claimed that it was all within the budget, so the commission went with an alternative for wetlands that had no impacts and had very expensive retaining walls. That was then modified to be closer to that 4,000 square foot of impact. or 3,000 to 4,000 square foot of impact. And the new modified plan was approved with the one simple crossing at the narrowest spot of about 2,200 square feet of impact in that area. But council member can maybe expound in terms of the overall cost, but I believe the original proposal through the school was $1 to $2 million. Now we're in the realm of what, 500 to 700,000?
Yes, if the town crew does some of the work.
Yeah, which I believe that is the intention as
Yes.
it sits right now.
It's an 824, so it really doesn't make much effect other than.
Yeah,
If we deny it, they have to approve it with a 2/3 majority.
That's correct.
So, somebody make a motion one way or the other. Please.
Make a motion to move the 824 referral for 26-1382.
Yes. A second, please. You second it, John? Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Oppose or abstentions? None. Okay. Adoption of minutes, June 15th, regular meeting, and June 29th, special meeting. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion to accept the June 15th regular meeting and the June 29th special meeting.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed or abstentions? Okay. Correspondence, you all got it, you can read it. Department reports, zoning officer, inland wetlands, anything?
Nothing major. I mean, with ZBA, we'll be meeting this coming month for a side setback variance, but on Hartford Pike for a small addition to a residential home.
Economic development?
Since the last time I reported out, we've had 7 ribbon cuttings, Balance Bites, Beauty by Belle, Amy's Cakery, Fade Factory, Dollhouse Studios. The Craft Collective expanded their location from 140 Main Street to Center Street, and Sisters LLC. This past weekend, the Killingly Business Association sponsored the first ever Asian festival in town. There was well over 10 acts. There was 5 monks that visited, and it was in honor of the O'Leary family for their philanthropic sponsorship of the refugees from Laos. This Saturday, there'll be a KBA-sponsored sidewalk sale from 10 to 2. And as the brownfield activity, we still have ongoing environmental assessments at Bailey Hill and Blueville Mill sites. We have entered into the procurement process for the Connecticut Brownfield Program at 185 Broad Street. And then we just finalized our contract documents to go out for procurement for the Community Investment Fund for the Borough wastewater site. We've also engaged a content creator to do some social media. The New England couple is going to do a Killingly date challenge. What could you do for $50? What could you do for $150? And what could you do for $1,500 in Killingly? And then on Thursday, we have the Eastern Regional Tourism District coming out to do content on outdoor recreation, and Dirty Sodas are having a moment, so they'll be featuring those locations. Any questions? Thank you. What's a dirty soda? It's a soda base. You put cream in it and fruit. Think Laverne and Shirley.
Town council?
Mike?
Proper conduct of meetings. We had a slide at the beginning of the council meeting, how to conduct a meeting without interrupting and interfering. It would be nice if that was showed before you start the meeting.
Happy to do it if you guys want. I was also pointed to, I think the town of Brooklyn has like a little, like, almost legal disclaimer at the bottom of their thing, asking people just generally to be respectful of commission members and applicants. But, you know, like I've said to many residents who come in and ask questions, you know, we don't all get taught Robert's rules in school or the proper, you know, process in terms of directing all comments through the chair. But if you guys want, I know there was one discussion, or I think I had Ed ask me about it, was whether or not it could be something that could be added to your bylaws at some point if you guys so choose.
And it shouldn't be just planning and zoning, it should be all commissions. So we need to
So
have.
what are you suggesting? That it's a class on how to run a meeting?
No.
What is it then?
It's like a public disclaimer, like to put up on the screen prior to starting.
Prior to starting the meeting, so
Okay.
you don't have people.
I think Ken had created one for us at the beginning of the Amazon thing, if I remember right.
There was
And he
there was
spoke.
there was one what he had or he read into the record on a previous application. That's correct.
Yeah, that's all right. I don't care, that's fine. Anything that's gonna help, let's work, good.
And the only other question I had was on the commerce. We were supposed to have a river walk.
There it is right there. That was the town council one they had.
So the Riverwalk on the,
We have a river walk going down to Plainfield that we
Right.
worked on. We're supposed to have a river walk going from downtown Jansen that went up Commerce Avenue,
Right.
right next to the river.
it would be, the sewer line goes through there, and so literally it'd be over the sewer main. I remember a discussion about that years ago. I don't know whatever became
I don't know
of it.
whatever happened.
So
We were supposed to connect to Putnam.
different efforts from different sides. At one point, there were some improvements on Tracy Road, took advantage of some grant funding for that trail. I believe then the town of Putnam was running it through their iPark area, which does not directly connect to that Tracy Road area. Town of Plainfield is doing improvements to their trail on the opposite end, where we've pretty much run pretty close to our full southern extension. But right now, the trail technically goes into over the footbridge area, which I believe is still closed. Yep, the footbridge, and then runs on Maple Street, which a portion of Maple Street has sidewalks, but then eventually as you get into Upper Maple Street, there's no sidewalks. Ultimately then kind of going over to Tracy Road, and that's our projected line for the East Coast Greenway. But that can move and that can change. There's a process to do that. I know that one of our discussions with Deary's Gymnastics, when the town sold Deary's Gymnastics, we retained some rights right against the water in that area, just in case there was ever an avenue where we wanted to keep moving up in that area. But then you have all those residential homes, and the topography isn't the best in that spot. But there's been, I think, questions about that for open space and conservation as far as access in that area as well. That's been highlighted, so.
Thank you.
Yep.
A motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second? Second?
I'll second. I'll
All in-
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Adjourned.